Hello. How was your day? I hope you had a great day. I'm Anna. This is Art with Anna. If you're new here, if you have been with me before, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. And we are going to paint tonight. I'm painting live. This is day 19. I'm really proud of us. Since July 1st, I've been on YouTube every single day live making a painting. And we've made a lot. We've made a lot of cool acrylic pours, some Dutch pours, some cups. We've been doing trays this week. Last night we did a really fun tray, which is drying over there. Let's see if we can get a sneak peek of it. This was a doubtful color palette, but I just pieced it together thinking, this would be cool. And it did turn out really, really awesome. If you missed that video and you want to go back and see that after tonight, I will leave that in the description for you so you can go and see that one and how we made that one. And tonight we're going to do a new tray. I'll show you the beautiful tray we have here. Now, this one is different because it's got these ridges, this texture that is going to show through our paint. And it almost deterred me from this tray, but then I thought, you know, that actually might add some interesting texture to our painting. And I have done trays that have patterns on the bottom before and lines that show through. I think it's kind of been interesting. So we are not going to let that stop us from using this tray. It's so beautiful. I love the handles. I got this at Home Goods. It was 20 bucks, which I think is a nice price for, it feels really sturdy. There's no, I always look and see if there's any gapping along the edge. If the seams aren't tight where the paint could seep out, and it seems really sturdy. Seems well made. So I like the little detail of the side. I want to capture some of this in the paint that we're going to use. I think this champagne and maybe some bronze would be nice. Gold. So we're going to use this tray and we'll see how we like the texture showing up under the paint. Hopefully it adds to it. Now, what I want to do for colors is I actually want to use some of last night's colors again. Not just because I want to use them up, but because I love the result of last night. But like I promised, it's going to be a totally new tray tonight. For one, the design is always completely new. You know, you can never replicate the same design when you do an acrylic pour. At least I can't. And number two, we're going to use way different ratios of the paint, and I'm going to also change a couple things. So I'm not going to use the white in this one. I'm going to turn this brown into like a deep espresso, so closer to like a dark, like this tray would be. And do that, I'll put in some of this ivory. I think we'll definitely use this green again. I loved that coming through on the other piece. I'm going to use this again. I haven't decided about tried to mix up bronze, ended up adding copper, and now it looks kind of like a rose gold. So I haven't decided about that, but I am going to use this blue, more of it. So we just a little last time. Let's just peek at this other tray again one more time just to see what colors we can see coming out. See quite a bit of the white actually, and the green, some gold there in the middle. So we're going to try it without the white this time just to see how different it looks. We're going to add the deeper brown and some more blue. And I'm excited to see what it's gonna turn out like. So thanks for joining me. I'm really excited you're here. If you're watching live, glad to have you with me. If you're watching the replay, happy you're here as well. So let's get to mixing our paints. Oh, and by the way, in case you want to join this challenge, painting every day in July, you can email me at the email in the description and I'll add you to the list for reminders throughout the month when I'm going to be on live painting. And you're welcome to paint along with me if you wanted the same project. You don't have to watch it live, but you could, watch it later on. Or if you just want to work on whatever you feel inspired to work on, put this on in the background. We can chat while we're painting together. That'd be awesome. So welcome. I'm going to bring you down now. And we're going to mix up our paints. I'll remove this because I always get a little messy. And I guess we're not doing too much mixing because we're going to use what we have and just add or change a little bit here. I'm hoping none of these have started to dry out. So let's first work on our brown here. If you've been tuning into any of these lives before, yeah, I know there's been a few of you that have been kind of steady supporters, so appreciate being here. So I just added the black into this brown. We're going to see if we can get it to be more of an espresso. It's turning a richer color. Let's add a little bit more. And I'm also going to put a bit of this iridescent medium in there as well, because I like the shimmer that it gives. Add some more Floetrol and extend this paint out some more. So we're going to have quite a bit of this brown. Ooh, I'm liking what I see. Wish you guys could be like in my studio right now, have it in my basement bar. I could pull out some drinks, some music background, and then I've got some bar stools up to the counter, and you guys could just bring your paintings and work on them. We could all just talk together. It'd be so fun. But this is the next best thing. Besides, then no one has to leave the comfort of their homes at 10 p.m. at night. Every day I try to paint earlier in the day, but it never seems to happen. Almost never, except sometime on the weekends. During the week, it's usually after the kids go to bed. Just been kind of late in the summer. Okay, it's really beautiful, considering still. But now that I see I have this graphite, which is also pretty dark, I don't think I will make it any more black looking. Leave it that rich brown. Okay, it's flowy, but it's still pretty thick, so that's good. And let's see, what do we need more of here? I do want more of this green because I loved that. Turquoise green, Hobby Lobby brand. Master's Touch. Let's first make sure this isn't clumping at all. No, this is still fine. I have music on in the background. Let me know if it's annoying. I don't know if you can hear some piano music, but let me know if it's annoying. I'll turn it down. Not really sure what this little mic picks up. Now the Floetrol in this last night, but it makes the color look a little bit lighter because it's white. But it dries transparent, so then the color will dry deeper hued than it looks right now. Which is kind of nice to know. I really love this green. When you add the water in, it kind of separates and then it kind of comes back together as you stir it. Okay, so I don't know if you can see my consistency. It's pretty thick, but still smooth. It's on the verge of me adding a smidge of water. Okay, well, I don't want it thin like a Dutch pour. I like when the colors keep their form. A flip cup. If there's a certain color that you absolutely love, type that in the comments and I will consider using that in one of the trays of getting ideas for different color palettes, especially when it's something I haven't tried or something that gets me out of my comfort zone a little bit. I would say this palette is a little bit out of my comfort zone. Tend more towards the blues and the pinks and the purples. So this is more earthy. And definitely want more champagne. This is just a lovely, lovely color. Actually makes the gold look kind of harsh next to it. I don't know whether I want to put gold in this one or more than this. We could just use what we have and that's it. So still, I find myself like excited to paint every day. It comes to night, I just don't want to do it. My motivation's gone. My productivity is gone. And I'm just more tired. But as soon as I get here and get started, I'm enjoying it. I always enjoy it. And it's so rewarding. And I go to sleep feeling more peaceful and accomplished, like I made something. And I just love that feeling of making something, especially if it turns out. Making something beautiful. It's pretty runny. That's okay. We'll notice this is runny or notice what that does. Let's see if our gold is drying up here. No, it's still fine. Add a little water to this. Thick. And then this is the graphite. Pretty neat. I do like this. Should we do more of this? I think so. It's going to be like a little bit more of a masculine look, I think. I don't want to repeat myself, but if you haven't watched any other videos, my paint recipe for these trays is really simple. It's just 1 part paint to 1 part Floetrol. I just have it in this jar because I strained out the clumps. So you mix that up, and then I add just distilled water until it gets to the consistency I like. And that's runny but still kind of thick for these flip cup pours. I get to hold its shape. Pretty neat. Just add the water a little bit at a time until it's right. If anyone has any questions or comments or suggestions or anything when I'm doing these live videos, I just welcome you to just put them down in the chat there. I'll try to keep on it as we go, and I'm happy to answer questions, or I love your feedback and your ideas. So I've learned a lot from doing these, from other people and their ideas. All right, this is what we're gonna go with. This is our color palette, with or without. I'm not sure about this, but definitely this. We're taking the white out this time, and we made our brown just richer. And yeah, we got our paints. So the boring part's over. The fun is about to begin. Let's go get our tray. I didn't sand this tray. I just cleaned it a little bit. And it's got all those ridges on it. So those are going to show up underneath the painting. And I think it's hopefully going to add some texture. There we go. All right. Wash my hands a little bit. Make sure so I love having a sink right here in the workspace. It makes it so handy for paint stuff. And when we were looking at this house last year to buy, my husband, that bar kind of takes up quite a bit of the basement. And with our 6 kids that we have, he's like, it would be better just to have a big open basement because that's where they're going to play. And I agreed, but then I was eyeing it like, where this would be an amazing art studio. Have all the cupboards for all of the supplies, the sink there for washing out brushes. I have eyes on the kids all the time while they're playing, and I can see out the double doors into the yard. And so I sold him on that. And I've been loving it. It's been so great to have a designated space. I used to just have socks, and I'd bring it to the kitchen table and do a painting. The paint sit there. We'd have to eat dinner in the living room or whatever. When I was in the garage for a long time, That worked really well in the summers. But it's so nice. I appreciate having this dedicated space now to work in. Hey, thanks for the thumbs up. You guys are awesome. Yeah, does anyone want to talk about anything while we pour? Or does anybody have questions? I don't know if you guys have seen my videos before. You kind of know everything I'm doing right. The fun part is just seeing what happens, right, with the design. So that's coming up here. Tray's gonna have more blue in it. I think our brown matches our tray really nicely. That's what we were going for, right? A lot more champagne in there. I'm gonna sneak in just a smidge of this kind of copper bronze gone wrong just to see what happens with it. Before you start to pour the paint. Oh, I missed what you said before that. Let me see if I can look back. Ooh. Chat. Oh, okay. Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Let's see. Do you ever feel nervous when starting to pour on any kind of, I don't want to say lab, anything more than a canvas? Does it ever give you any kind of jitters before you start for the paint, before you start to pour the paint? Oh, yeah. I used to. I used to, but I don't anymore because I have poured a tray before multiple times and didn't like it, but then I just poured over it again. And I wasn't, out on the money. I used it again, poured over the top, and made a better tray. So, also, I think it's helped. I've sold almost every single tray that I've made. So, and I've sold it for a lot more than I bought it for. So that really helps. It's like when I bought these 7 trays, it's like I'm sure, hopefully, gonna get all my money back and more on these. So, not anymore. Definitely was the first time, but they aren't like super expensive. It's a $20 tray, so still good, but not. Yeah, it's like a small investment to what I'll hopefully get back on it. So, yeah, not too nervous, especially since I know if it doesn't turn out, I can just pour over it again. Maybe if it's too textured, we can sand it down a little bit. My husband actually bought this great sander. It's like one of those with the round things, and you just push the button and it goes around. So I can always sand it down if I need to and pour over it. It won't be lost. But I do always get a little like nervousness before I flip the cup over because I always say a little prayer like, God, please let this turn out. I really want it to look good. Do you know that feeling when you paint something and you don't get, you just, ugh, you just feel bad about yourself? I don't know. Feel discouraged. But it happens. You just gotta move on. After those paint, I usually like quick do another one. And sometimes I do like consecutive bad ones. Then I just go to bed I'm like, okay, I'll start again tomorrow. How do I usually go about selling your pieces? Different ways. So, um, interestingly, I'll tell you, like I've listed them on my website. I've never sold a tray on my website, but I've only listed a few. I got kind of tired of listing them, so I stopped. I have sold them in person at art shows and craft fairs. So I'll have them on a table or displayed. Um, I have a local group of artists that we do like a show together once a year. I don't have Etsy. I started out with Etsy, but I didn't care for it. Um, Facebook, I have sold a lot of trays, mostly to my warm market. Like it'll be word of mouth or someone I know that will ask for a commission. They'll see a tray that I do and they'll either want to buy it or they'll say, hey, can you do one for me in dollars? Or I have an anniversary coming up. Could you do one with our initials on it? So Facebook has been the source of probably most of my commission trays. And then craft fairs and art shows, live in-person events have been the way I've sold just all the other trays that I've made. And I try to display them, on a table. Sometimes I make a wine set with coasters to go with it. They actually always display really nice because I do gold leaf and resin over the top, and they always look so pretty and shiny. And I get out like at a lower price, and then just slowly raised it as people were buying them faster than I could make them. And so I figured the supply was more than the demand, like the price. And so I've just slowly been able to go up. And yeah, I have an event coming up next month, which should be fun. It's like a local festival, be an outdoor thing. And it's like wine and hot air balloons and stuff. And so I'm gonna bring these trays there, and I'll let you know if I am able to sell any of them. That would be really cool. It's fun to sell, like it's fun to sell in person. I think people get to ask you questions about the art and get to know you a little bit. And another thing, yeah, you're welcome, Nicole. I'm happy to help. But I think the Facebook, how the Facebook thing got started was I made a Facebook account that was like myself as an artist, separate from my personal account. It's like Anna Coin Art. I made a Facebook page, and then I would just post like any tray that I made. I'd just post it on there, and then eventually, once I had the confidence enough, I'd post it with the price. I would over it to my personal Facebook page so that like friends, family, and stuff would see it. I tried selling on Facebook Marketplace a couple times and really pursue that. But yeah, so I would just keep making and keep posting what I was doing. Eventually, people would start being like, "Oh, I want one. Can you make me one?" So yeah, I think they're a nice gift because people, it's very giftable. Um, wedding gift or housewarming, and it's something people can use. Not everyone has. People can maybe admire my paintings, but they might not have a wall for it. And I also price my paintings like higher than I price my trays, like my canvas paintings. So I don't really sell that many of my canvas works, but the trays are functional art. People can use them, so they kind of maybe justify the expense more a little bit. Not that they always use them; they might just display it, but it's something they can like buy for their home or whatever, their office. Um, so I've got a fairly full cup here, but I keep forgetting to add more of the brown. And I've mostly been layering, but sometimes I randomly swirl around. I think we've got plenty of paint, so I should probably stop here in a moment. Trying to get rid of most of this paint, just leaving just a smidge in the cups in case we want to tweak the design and add a little bit to it afterwards. Fix something. So yes, tonight we are painting the design, but the tray isn't done after this. So we let it dry for 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna do 2 more things to it that I think really help it out as a finished art piece. So we're gonna add some gold leaf to it, or silver leaf, depending on which metallic accents I have in there. And then we'll put resin over the top. And if you haven't seen, trays that I've done like that before, it's like this. Okay, this was my favorite one that I did. That's why I kept it. I kept this one. I was like, I'm gonna have one for myself. So I kept my favorite. But yeah, you can see the shine on top. That's resin, and then you can see these like lines. That's the gold leaf. So that'll be the 2 steps we do after the painting. But we have to wait for it to dry for a while. Should we do the most fun part, and pour this on the tray, or flip it over on the tray? If you're excited, hit the thumbs up and let's do this. Oh, thanks, Nicole. I know, I loved it too. I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep one for myself. That was one where I did, sometimes you make art and you're like, okay, what would people like? Oh, they might like neutrals. A lot of people decorate in neutrals. And for this tray, I was like, I'm just gonna do what I like. So I just put my favorite colors in it, and it turned out to be something I loved. So I decided I would just keep one, at least for now, until I get tired of it. So we're flipping the tray over on the cup. So yeah, Nicole, if there's any time to get nervous, this is the time I get nervous right now. Just really want it to look good. So we've got our torch ready. I always like to torch soon. And are you ready? Let's do this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Wow. Those colors are gorgeous. It's just what I was hoping for. Like a similar color palette to last night, but less white and light colors in it. So it's more, yeah, it's darker and deeper. Ooh, I like it. I think it goes with the tray really well. Okay, I am going to show you close up before we spread this out. Now, you wouldn't have to torch for bubbles at this point, but what I like is, see how these cells are happening? So when you torch, it opens up cells, and then since the design is small, it's going to, and those cells are going to spread out too, so they get bigger. I think it looks cool. Okay, so let's look at our cup, because the cup is always fun. Ooh. Okay. And then I'll show you a close-up of the paint before we spread this out. This is just kind of what I was hoping for, so I'm excited. It's kind of what I was envisioning. So it's similar to last night, but it's different because it's darker, it's deeper. Isn't that fun? It's going to be interesting. Yeah, that's really pretty how the blue and the champagne are mixing there. And then I love this line, this river going through. It's on the other side too. Wish I knew how to keep those. Those always seem to kind of go away as I spread it out, but it's really pretty. I like it. I think it goes well with this tray. I think it's going to be a good one. I hope somebody will like it. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much. I love that you're on padding with me. It's so much more fun to do this with other people along with me. Yeah, I think this is a good color palette. All right, let's spread it out and see what it does as it moves. We'll go this way this time. I do this pretty slow, so this might be a little boring, but it's kind of for me. If you're watching the replay later on, you can always skip ahead and skip to the close-up at the end, see what the finished result was like. It's one painting when you first flip the cup, and then it's another painting after it spreads out. Super fun. You can't really have both, so it's gotta change. It's really, really neat. Look at that. So I'm going till this touches the edge. Sometimes instead of tipping it too much, I just kind of jiggle it back and forth. I don't like when it, in some areas it's hitting, but not in others. I don't like tipping it too far because I don't want the paint to go up on the sides of the tray. That doesn't look so good. Okay. Ooh, it's really nice. I think we'll go this way next. Again, we've just got some really big bubbles, like big cells. Last night. I really like the lines going through. Oop, I missed what you said there. Bold cells. Nicole said I think we call them boulder cells. Oh, okay. Oh, awesome. I know that. They're definitely bold cells. That's for sure. This part is really cool right here. So Nicole, are you an acrylic pour painter as well? Or a fluid artist of some kind? There we go. Oh, this is while I can see this. Okay, so the really rich green I'm using is this turquoise green, Master's Touch. It's from Hobby Lobby. I love it too. It's very rich. I'm gonna get something out of the paint while I see it. Not sure if I got it or not. Oh, for 5 years. Awesome. What's your favorite thing to do? What's your favorite technique or style? I think Dutch pours are my favorite to look at, but probably my favorite to do are these trays with the flip cup. Yeah, sure, no problem. Dutch pours are your favorite? Yay! You have a channel, a YouTube channel or Instagram or anything? Feel free to put it on there if you want. I'd love to check it out. If not, I always love when people email me pictures of their artwork. I'm trying to think. Janice emailed me pictures of her trays that she tried. She's done 2 so far. She emailed me, and they were so awesome. And it was very. It just all these videos I'm doing. Sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my time on YouTube, but it was very gratifying to hear that Janet like learned how to do it from watching my videos, and she was having a lot of fun. So then I felt like it was worth it. But my email address is in the description. So Nicole, if you want to send me pictures of any of your work, I'd love to see it. And Dutch pours are definitely my favorite. They're just so flowy and pretty. And I fell in love with them because of Rinska. She was the first fluid artist I came across. Loved her Dutch pours. And another Dutch pour artist that I follow and I love everything she makes is Michaela. I think her name is Michaela's Artistry. Yeah. Oh, I love her paintings. They're right up my alley. I don't know if you follow either of those, Nicole. But I learned Michaela and Rinska. I'm doing this slowly, but it's just such a relaxing process. I love it. This is just turning out so beautiful. It's really softening out as it stretches. Yeah. Yes, Nicole, you should. Get yourself a tray. Don't order off Amazon though. I've always been disappointed by the trays I've gotten off Amazon. Like if you go for a reasonable price, you really get a piece of junk, I think. But that was a couple of years ago that I tried a few times ordering off Amazon. Never had, but I've had good luck in Home Goods. So I don't know if you have one of those near you, but I've used a lot of their trays with success. I used to get trays, Acacia trays at Target, only $22. And then either they went out of stock or they stopped carrying it or something. But then one day they were gone. All my tray supply was gone. And one time I got like a huge load of like 20 trays from JCPenney because my mother-in-law like found them and she had all these coupons and sales. So we got a really, really nice tray for a good deal. But it's been hard for me to find a good supply of trays. And I'd love to support a local craftsman. I just haven't really looked much into it yet. I'm sure there are people. But so far I've had luck off and on at Home Goods for sure. This last time I went this last weekend, it was like the jackpot. There were so many good ones I had to choose. They have good charcuterie boards there, so I do resin on those. And I have quite a few here waiting to resin. I haven't done much resin this month because I've been doing these live videos every day, and that seems to be all the painting I've been able to manage each day. But when August hits, I can get to resining some of those boards. And this is looking lovely right here. Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Do you mean the trays? Yeah, so I got the trays from Home Goods, but Michael's, I do get some paints from Michael's and Hobby Lobby, paint supplies. And also from Blick Art Materials, I get paints sometimes. Sometimes order online. Look at this beautiful area right there. Those ocean blues are my favorite, blue greens. Okay, I'm loving this tray. I am just loving it. Home Goods. Oh yeah, awesome. That's where I got this one. I think there's a delay in when you hear me and when you send the chat, because I'm like 2 minutes behind your conversation. Yeah, Home Goods is a good place to get trays. Sometimes, they always have different stuff there. They have not much, and sometimes they have a lot. When they have a lot, I try to get a lot and just have them in stock. And then one little tip about prepping the tray, I usually sand a little bit on the bottom just to give the paint something to grip. And sometimes like they oil these pieces with like a food grade mineral oil. So kind of take that off and then just wipe up the dust with a tack cloth or a lint-free cloth. I used to clean them with alcohol until I realized that some alcohol was loosening the glue. Like some of these trays are glued, the wood is glued together. And I've had like a couple of trays open before. So I don't recommend cleaning them with alcohol. Just a little damp cloth before you pour. Okay, we're just about spread out here, and this is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to tweak it. I'm just so happy with it. It's so okay. So we spread it out and all our cells kind of went away. Do you notice that? That's not what happened last night. Like we had big chunky cells last night when we were done. So this is interesting. But I really, really like this. I've got it almost to this edge here, just not quite, quite, quite. And there's one little spot I didn't get over here. So we'll see what to do about that in a second. My husband's always like, you should learn how to make those wood trays. You could save a lot of money. And then I tell him, why don't you learn how to make them? I'm not gonna learn. I just want to do the art part. I don't want to do the wood craft. Someone else can do that. Yes, Nicole. I hope you do. I hope you do try this tomorrow. You definitely should. Yes. Do one this weekend. And then email me and show me. I can't wait to see it. It's so much fun. You're going to be addicted. And I'm painting canvases too, but there's just something about like, wow, like you have a nice piece, you know? Feel very, very, very much a sellable piece. So fun. So, okay. This is this is just, beyond my hopes. I love this. I love this tray. It's interesting. It's more subtle and soft than I thought it was going to be. There's just two tiny areas that I don't really want to tip back and move the whole design cover. So I'm either just going to dab a little paint onto this, or I'll just gently push or blow the paint into those spots. Um, let's start with just blowing it. As long as I don't get my hair in this. Almost always happens. It was refusing to go into that spot, but I made it. There, that looks really nice. Can't tell I did anything. So I think I'm going to do the same thing over here. Oh, this is so cool. This is just what I wanted. After I saw last night's palette, I thought, ooh, I want to do that again without white and with like a richer brown. So I'm gonna show you both again so we can compare the changes. There. Oh, I just couldn't be happier with how this just really matches the feel, the style of the tray. A lot of times I use the tray's colors and design elements to inspire the palette. Trying to read what you wrote here, Nicole. Oh, okay. Um, the one I've done tonight isn't going to last long, I can guarantee, because colors just coordinate so well with each other. It is beautiful. Thank you so much. Just made my night. And I always say like, oh, if I don't sell this, I gotta keep it. I love it. But I hope it probably will sell too. Oh man, look at that. Ah, just a beautiful color palette. And it's soft. it's soft and it's balanced, you know, it really, there's not any like weird parts that don't fit with the rest, but there's still so many areas of different interest. Look at this cool blue swirly part. And then look at those neat formations. And this kind of like rich, subtle, melting area. Here, like some neat flow. It's really, really, really nice. I love it. I'm so happy with it. If you're watching this and you like the outcome, would you hit the thumbs up to let me know? That would be really awesome. I'm going to show you now the tray we did last night with almost the same color palette, except a couple little different changes. And it's completely different, a completely different tray, but you'll notice similarities. Here's the one we did last night. Look at how different the design is. Like this one's all bubbles and, you know, the gold. So there's more gold in this. That's really popping out. The white kind of surrounds everything in this one. There's a lot of little frothy bells in there, which was really cool. This one's very neat, but look how different that is. Oh, and the brown is very light, the light bronzy brown. And look how different that is from this one, even though color palette was almost the same. But flip cup pours are so fun because you can control a couple of the elements, you know, consistency, paints, layering, but the design is going to come out how it does. And it's just always a surprise. But I am beyond happy with this one, how it turned out. I'm just loving it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Especially really enjoyed chatting with you, Nicole, and I can't wait to see the results of your first. Hope it's awesome, beyond your wildest dreams. But if it's not, just tell yourself, hey, that was my first one. I am just gonna pour over that thing when it's dry. So and do another one. So yeah, don't worry about messing it up. And then in a couple weeks, you should come back because we will hopefully be doing like some detailing on this with some leaf, and then we'll resin over the top. It's gonna look even better. So this one is really beautiful. I can't wait for the person who gets to have this piece in their home. All right, it's pretty late, it's an hour, so I'm going to sign off pretty soon, but I will be back tomorrow, Friday, with another tray. Hey, I can't wait for you, Nicole. So I'll be back tomorrow with another tray, and I don't know which it will be. I have like 3 or 4 left that we can choose from. So we're going to do a color palette tomorrow. What's it going to be? If you have any ideas or requests, let me know what they are in the comments. I'll consider them. I need some good ideas. Alrighty, everyone. Yeah, join this challenge. Paint with me every day in July. It's not too late to start if you haven't been. And if you have been, keep up the good work. We are more than halfway. And there's been some days that it's been a struggle, but I've always been glad that we did it. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight. You're welcome, Nicole. I'm so honored if my work inspires other artists. I think it's great if we can encourage and inspire one another. It's fun to try new things. Keeps the learning, you know, it's exciting. And you're learning, you're always learning, experimenting. Alrighty. Take care. God bless. I'll see you soon.